I have focused my energy towards helping men 40 plus, as I say, build a bit, lose a bit, get a bit. Build more muscle, lose more fat, get more sex. Because ultimately, when you're a guy in his 40s, married with kids, wife, you don't really need anything else. That's what you want. You want to build a bit of muscle, you want to lose a bit of fat, and you want to know you're going to get your home. That's it. We're simplistic creatures with simplistic wants and needs. The issue is, we also spend a lot of time on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on all these social media platforms, and they're presenting to us an unrealistic image of training for where you currently are. Now, if you are a man in his 40s who's looked after himself his entire life, you've lifted weights regularly, you've watched what you're eating, you're in good physical condition, then the Instagram lifestyle that's being presented by all these young trainers, that's probably the way you train. You're used to it, your body's adapted to these high intensity workouts, the stress being put upon it, you understand the need for recovery. But the majority of guys that I speak to are guys who are in their 40s and suffer from what I call used-to-itis. You used to be in shape, you used to play football, you used to lift weights, you used to be able to run 10 miles, but it's not you anymore. And this is the problem. You're trying to train the way you used to train as a 20-year-old, but you're expecting your 40-year-old body that you've abused for 10, 20 years to keep up with that level of stress, and it's never going to happen. I see it regularly in this gym all the time. Guys come in, Paul, I want to do this, I want this program, I want this transformation, but their body's not ready for it. And I try to tell them they're not ready for it, and they go on and on and on, and eventually I just go, do you know what? Maybe sometimes the best lesson you can have is experience, is actually going through it and realising that there's a guy in front of you that he knows how to get you in the best shape, but if you're not willing to listen to him, then you're not going to achieve the results. So maybe you need to go through the pain of injury, the pain of realisation of the sacrifice required to get this physique that you have in your head of the ideal physical shape you want to be in. Maybe you need to go through that, maybe you need experience is not what you want. So I let them do it, lo and behold, injury comes along, they lose motivation, they fall off the wagon. It's a common occurrence. Personally, I don't have a barbell in my program anymore. I don't feel the need for it. And as a guy who's come on 45, 2 hip replacements, multiple injuries from years of abusing his body in MMA, I know that every time I use a barbell, my ego takes over. I know that I will not be satisfied at staying at 150 kilo, 170 kilo deadlift for multiple reps. I will want to see where my limits are. And when I test my limits and I go over 200 kg, always end up injured. Same as bench pressing. I know once I get the 110 kg, there's going to be a point where my shoulder goes and I'm going to be out for 3-4 months. So I have made the decision to stop letting the ego dictate my workouts and instead focus on what I know I'm good at and what I know works for my body. And if you're intelligent enough to understand this, you will also reap the benefits of this type of training. Indian clubs, club bells, mace bells, kettlebells, parallettes, gymnastic rings, bands, valve slides, your own body. There's 9 items that if you use on a regular and consistent basis, you will have the physique you're after. Not only will you have the physique, you will have the strength for everyday living. Listen, I'm in this game 15 years. I've been coaching men like you for almost a decade. I've been coaching men since 2007. My whole world has been surrounded by alpha males in the MMA world. Coaching guys in the UFC. I have one of the best professional fighting team in the country. I know what it's like to train men, and I also know what it's like to deal with men with the highest levels of ego and insecurities. But it's hard to get guys to understand that if you leave the ego behind and you just pay attention and listen to your body, forget about what they're doing, forget about Instagram's telling you, forget about what you want. If you go inside and you listen to your body and you understand that this is a process of trying to build up a habit, and that habit is going to equate to you being better at everything you do in life as long as you give it time, then once you get that into your head and you allow yourself to let go of all the bullshit, drop the ego, drop the stories, and just focus on what you need, you will end up in the greatest physique you've ever been in. You'll be stronger than you were in your 20s. You'll be fitter than you were in your 20s. You'll feel more confident than you were in your 20s. And you will have the physique that tells everyone else the same story. Trust me in this. I specialise in coaching guys like you. There is not a coach in this country who has coached more men than me. I can get you the physique you want if you listen. If you're interested in knowing how to do things properly, if you're sick of injuries, if you're sick of stopping and starting, and you're interested in actually getting a program that will work for you and allow you to continue training to get the physique you want and change to the guy you want to become, give me a shout.